G'day guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice stories. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Cheers. Posted by user ReasonableWing4159, titled, Am I the asshole here for not wanting to have my stepkids at my honeymoon? I, female 28, have been in a relationship with my fiancé Tyler, male 42, for the last 4 years. He has 2 kids from a previous marriage. Kids are 8.5-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl. His wife passed away when his youngest was 1 year old. He met me 3 years later. His kids are wonderful and lovely, and we get along great. We live together. I do everything for them since Tyler works long hours. They call me Mum, but they are aware who their real mum is. We have her pictures in their rooms, and Tyler talks about her to them all the time. We are planning our wedding. My father offered his condo in Hawaii to us so that we can enjoy our honeymoon there. It was a very kind and generous offer. When I told Tyler, he was so grateful. Then he said, "I bet the kids will have a blast." And I looked at him in disbelief and said, "Kids?" He said, "Yes, that's our honeymoon." Now, I don't want to be a mum on my honeymoon. We can go on plenty of family trips later, but this is our honeymoon. He said that I was honest with you from day one. I told you I'm a package deal. You can't just choose me and not my kids. I told him that I understand, but can they stay with your mum for 1 week? Just for our honeymoon. He got very frustrated and said that he couldn't believe how insensitive and selfish I was being. Am I the asshole here to expect to have a child-free honeymoon? 1. I was into him. I pursued him. I thought he was younger. He told me about his real age, his kids, his late wife from the first moment. He even said he would understand if I said no. I loved him. I loved how honest, kind, and caring he was. 2. Do I feel loved after giving him BJ? Yes, I do. He has a higher sex drive, so I just give him oral when he wants sex. Yes, he kisses me every time afterwards. He cuddles until we go to sleep, and I take care of myself later, mostly during my morning showers. No, he never pulled his gun on me. He is not a violent man. Lately we've had more quickies, mostly because I'm very tired, but I don't like to turn him down. 3. We don't have alone time or date nights. True, but it doesn't mean he doesn't say he loves me or he is not affectionate. 4. I decided to cancel everything. I don't think he's ready, and we need to have a serious talk. I also need to know if he can have kids, or he had a vasectomy. Either way, we are not ready to be married. In the comments, Simru B says, "You seem to be mum to his kids and partner second. I don't think that I need to think too hard about what the division of labor looks like in your household either. I'm also getting controlling vibes. From what you've said, he's disinterested in marriage, preferring a quick and unromantic city hall wedding, as it would feel weird having another wedding again after his wife died. You've never had a one-to-one date with him, only family outgoings. You take the primary role in caring for the children. He's not interested in having more kids now, but will think about it in the future. But you really want children of your own. He is morally outraged at the idea that you would even want to abandon the children to go on honeymoon and is questioning your character for desiring it. We don't know the ins and outs of your relationship, but from the snippets that you've shared beyond your initial Am I the Asshole Here post, you see the flags here, right? OP, he's not marrying you for you to be his wife. He's marrying you to be his live-in nanny. Do not marry him. You will never have a real relationship with your husband. He may even expect to divorce you once the kids are grown up and you're not needed anymore for their care. Not to mention, with the age gap, even if he agreed to have more children with you, it is likely he'll refuse until the current kids are grown, and then refuse because he's too old to want to have more babies. You are not going to be his wife. You are going to be his unpaid childcare worker. If you're okay with that, then go ahead with the wedding. Not the asshole. Is that even a question? It's honeymoon, not Thanksgiving. OP replies, He made me feel like I'm an evil stepmother who is excluding his kids. But it's our honeymoon. I don't want to worry about kids. Run. It's one thing to neglect your kids, and another to not realize that every environment is not appropriate for children to be involved. You will have further issues down the road regarding this, especially if you ever decide to have children with this man. He won't even hear you out, and you should be cautious about being with someone who could automatically cast you as an evil step-parent because you have boundaries. OP says, he knows I want to have kids eventually. He said he's not ready yet, but he will be eventually. I do feel like a villain now because I want a week to ourselves. Not ready yet? He's 42 with 2 kids. He's making you feel bad for wanting one-on-one time with him. My spidey sense is tingling that he wants you to raise his kids. You will never be a priority, and he will not have any with you. What are you getting out of this relationship? If I were you, I'd run like hell. Yup. He won't want a kid at 50 because he'll say, I want to be a grandfather at 60. I don't want to be an old father then. Realistically, a 42-year-old man will likely want kids immediately or never. Few men want to be really old fathers. Hey OP, I just got this email from you in the future and I want to pass it on. It reads, damn. I really wish I paid attention to all the red flags. I trusted what he said and ignored how what he did told me something very different. It was never the right time for more kids. I should have known based on his age and refusal to set a clear timeline. Now I'm 35, divorced, and it may be too late for me to meet someone and have kids. I should have run when he insisted that I nanny his kids on my frickin' honeymoon. The lotto numbers on June 8th, 2027 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Powerball is 6. OP says, I'm very emotional now. This comment made me cry. Look, people are being really frank with you, and it's probably feeling hard, but I've read through the comments, and as a 41-year-old mother of an 8-year-old, this letter is legit. It probably feels impossible right now to upend the life that you've been planning, and sad, and maybe guilty. A lot of my friends in our 20s to 30s struggled to leave bad situations because they had a hard time admitting they'd been had. They're smarter than that, etc. So let me say, you still are smarter, and your friends and family will likely applaud you for getting out while it's easier to do so. I've seen lots of smart, strong women get caught up with crap men to varying levels of disaster, like everyone else here. It is horribly common. If you walk now, even though it's hard, even though you can't see what's next, you have got a whole next life ahead. Yeah, I think that is the only option you have here. I mean, I just want to point out a 28-year-old with a 42-year-old, and his stonewalling of you is just completely red flag territory, is it not? That's pretty bad, but you just add everything else up here, and it's like, when is the straw going to break the camel's back here, OP? How much more does he need to do to push you away from this relationship? He doesn't even want a proper wedding with you anymore. How much more obvious can it be that you were just a placeholder in his life? You don't actually have meaning. He will discard you when he has no more use for you. Please, I don't know, look after yourself and get out of there. It's okay to be single and find someone that is more compatible with you. It is not too late. Not the asshole here, OP. And now, on to the updates. Thank you very much for all the private messages and comments. I'm so glad that I posted here. So many of you suspected that he had a vasectomy. Well, I decided to have a serious discussion with him about everything last night. He said he has never cheated on me and never will. I asked him if he had a vasectomy, and just for frick's sake, just tell me. He didn't even deny it. He said, yeah, but you gotta understand, I lost my wife when my youngest was an infant. It was such a traumatic time for me. I wanted to make sure that I'll never go through it again. I started crying. I asked him how he could lie to me all these years. He didn't even feel bad. He just said, well, you never asked. You asked now when I told you. Plus, what's the big deal? I have frozen sperm in the clinic, and it's a reversible procedure. I was floored. You saw me taking pills, yet you didn't mention it? He said, "Well, I thought you're taking pills because you have a heavy period." I couldn't believe that this man still blames me when he was the one lying to my face. I told him how unhappy I am, how burnt out I am, and he uses his work hours so he can dump the responsibilities on me, and I don't even feel loved anymore. I gave him his ring back and told him I was done. He was shocked. At first he thought I was kidding, and then he saw me packing my clothes at 11 p.m, so he started arguing that I should just wait a little longer, so by December he will know about his job. After that, he will go to a fertility clinic and you will have your stupid baby. Then he started guilt-tripping me, saying stuff like his kids have already been traumatized once, how could I be so selfish and leave them? I didn't even bother answering. I left for my parents' place. He's been begging and saying he will change, he'll be more involved, and asking me to come back. "You're their mom! Come back! We miss you!" Ugh. I am mentally exhausted. I can't believe I have been so stupid. I'm gonna start finding a place for myself near my work. Thank you. In the comments, quote, "You will have your stupid baby?" How did you not fall into his arms after hearing that? But seriously, sounds like he was stringing you along. He wants you to replace his wife, not start your own life. Yeah, I heard that line and I was like, wow, at least his mask has slipped. Ah, the love bombing begins. The endless promises to change, how much he and the kids are missing you, how cruel you're being to them by leaving. He's going to do everything he can, say whatever he thinks will work, to bully you into going back. Leaving was the right thing to do, but staying away is going to be much, much harder. Tell your parents and your friends exactly why you've left and don't want to go back so they can support you in staying away from him. Don't be silent about this or feel ashamed. You deserve much better than this, and I hope you get it. OP replies, "That's exactly what he is doing. My parents think I overreacted and I should give him another chance. My parents love him and his kids. They keep saying what a nice guy he is. I can't believe they are taking his side. I need to find my own place ASAP." Honestly, be blunt with your parents. So, you guys love and are good with a man who lied to me throughout our relationship? You love and are good with the man who had me raising his kids whilst potentially denying me children of my own? You love and are good with the man who referred to your potential grandchild as a stupid baby? You love and are good with the man who didn't want to give me a wedding or do anything for me, who weaponized his kids and their loss as a family to try and control me, and who has broken my heart? Really? Tell me what's nice about any of that. Tell me why I should settle for any of that. Tell me why you were so willing to back that man over your own child. I am your daughter, and you should know me well enough to know that I would not walk away from a relationship unless I have a good reason. And he gave me plenty of reasons. You want to cheerlead and support a liar, a manipulator, and a controlling jerk, instead of cheerleading and supporting your daughter who wants to be loved, respected, and valued. What do you think that says about you? He is not a nice guy. He is only groveling now because he's having to be a parent and do everything for himself. He is fundamentally dishonest and only has loyalty to himself. You deserve infinitely better, so please stay strong. I am so proud of you. I'm sure this had to have been so hard, but you did the right thing. You deserve so much better and did nothing wrong. Please don't let the guilt tripping make you feel bad. Sending so much love. OP replies, "I have been crying a lot. I can't believe him. I poured my heart and soul into this relationship, and he lied in my face and now blames me." Remember, he referred to what would have been your child together as your stupid baby every time you think about giving in to the guilt. You can go back, but do you want a child growing up with a dad that thinks of it as your, not our, stupid baby? The answer should be no. I would turn it right back around on him. Yes, I know, not nice and extremely petty, but by the powers, he sure as hell deserves it, and say, "I'm not your stupid kid's parent. You are, so you take care of them." Look, probably not the best suggestion to say that, because then that is further weaponization that he can use against you. But hey, if you're feeling petty, why not do something like that, OP? Because he sure as hell is a no-holds-barred kind of person. Absolutely agree that your parents are pretty trash for taking his side on this one, and I can't imagine how that feels. All I hope is that you stay your ground and don't touch this man with a 10-foot pole. Please. And now, onto our final update, titled, My Ex Told Lies to His Kids About Our Breakup. I left my ex because he was lying to me and treating me like garbage, as I mentioned in another post. We were together for 4 years, and I did everything for his 2 kids. Their bio mum passed away 7 years ago. I went back to pack my stuff, and his daughter said her dad told her that I left because I couldn't stand them anymore, and he chose them over me. I was floored. I asked my ex, and he, in front of the kids, said that he was just telling them the truth. He said, you wanted a baby because my kids were too much for you. You hated my kids. Remember, you even wanted to exclude them from our trip. He meant honeymoon. He wanted to bring his kids to our frickin' honeymoon, for F's sake. I told the kids that that's not true and tried to explain, but both kids cried and went to their rooms. My ex screamed, "Are you happy now? Get the hell out of my house." I know I shouldn't care, but after 4 years of doing everything for them, this is what I get? I'm so mad at him and my stepkids. In the comments, Jelly Wednesday says, "What a dick. But honestly, not your circus, not your monkeys. You are now so much better off." And OP replies, "Yep, I'm out. Best of luck to you all. Hope the next girl has thicker skin than me." Oh wow, that's just... I really was hoping you would go after reading your earlier post, and I'm glad you did, but this is the literal worst way to handle a breakup on his end. To emotionally damage children who already lost their mother like this is just beyond sick, especially since he made himself out to be the hero somehow in this scenario. You were very right to walk away. He was using you. He clearly doesn't know how to love anyone if he could do this to his own babies. I feel bad for them, but you couldn't save them from him even if you stayed, and it's not worth losing yourself in the process. I am so sorry. OP replies, "I just wish they knew I loved them and they were innocent. Our breakup had nothing to do with them. It was him. Him who lied in my face for 4 years and treated me like garbage." How's your relationship with his mum? Could you at least tell her? OP says, "His mum reached out to me. She's really nice. I told her the reason and she just said, I don't know what to say. He was very happy with you and the kids loved you. We are sad that it's suddenly over. I just told you why, lady. Your son is a liar." So, she's an ostrich. You guys ever dislike someone so much that you can almost taste it? Yeah, that's where I'm at with that guy. Dude is so pissed he lost his bangmaid. He is beyond repulsive, and I feel sorry for his kids. Yes, such a shit father using his kids for emotional blackmail and giving them abandonment issues in the process. I am utterly disgusted that he upset his kids like that just to get at her. He doesn't love them. They are just burdens and pawns. Yeah, there was so many different ways that he could have managed this situation, but unfortunately, he never matured past the age of 12, and he's just leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. I wish there were more updates to this where you could get those girls into a healthier and safer environment, but unfortunately that doesn't appear to be the case, and unfortunately, you will have to look after yourself and do what is best for you here, OP. Better late than never with things like this. At least now you can have a clean break, get the hell away from him, and live your life to the fullest because you deserve the best, and he deserves less than nothing. Let's be real. Our next post is by user Jason Slay, titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I slept with his disabled younger sister?" So John and I are both in our 40s. He was my friend through middle school and most of high school. We hung out together, played the same sports, did church summer camp, etc. Basically, we grew up together. I also knew and spent time with his sister, Mary. Mary has cerebral palsy and uses an electric wheelchair. After graduating, John went to university while I stayed back home to work at my father's business and go to community college part-time. Mary also went to community college, and we ended up hanging out a lot. John and his family liked the idea of me being like a big brother to Mary. Mary and I grew closer, and we began having sex. We weren't exactly dating, but it was a lot of fun for the both of us. Because Mary's family is very protective of her, we both agreed to keep our relationship a secret. Eventually, her family found out, and there was an ugly confrontation with me and them. They accused me of taking advantage of Mary because of my familiarity with her and because she was disabled. Mary insisted she wanted the relationship, but they dismissed her views like they always did. John was especially angry at me, even trying to start a fist fight. My father got involved and things eventually settled down, but my friendship with John and his family was over. I ended up leaving the area after I got my associate's degree and moved out of state to live with my mother. So 2 decades have passed. I have stayed in contact with Mary, but only exchange basic pleasantries with John and his family. They are still connected with my father, so it's just a courtesy relationship. 2 weeks ago, Mary came to my city and we met for lunch. It was a company event with her co-workers and vendors, but I still enjoyed seeing her again after so many years. We continued the evening at her hotel, and I ended up spending the night with her. This Saturday morning, I woke up to find a message from John. We've barely communicated for the last 20 years, so I was startled to see his name. Apparently he'd gotten around to looking at pictures that Mary had posted from the lunch and saw me sitting next to his sister. It was like we had teleported back in time to 20 years ago. The same accusations and angry insults got flung at me. He dredged up shit that I had forgotten about years ago. He ended his message warning me not to spend time with Mary. I was outraged by his message. We are 2 grown men, not high school kids. How can he say those things about me and his sister? In my anger, I messaged him back that not only did I spend time with Mary, but that we slept together again, and that he should get over himself. It felt good to retaliate like that, but I immediately had doubts. When I talked with Mary, she wasn't upset, but she made it clear that she would have preferred that I just ignored her brother like she does. We're still keeping our plans to see each other again, but I realize that Mary is disappointed by my childish behavior. Am I the asshole for my reply to John? In the comments, Desperate to Not Dream says, Mary is able-minded enough to attend an out-of-town work conference on her own, but they think she's not capable or deserving of having romantic relationships? One would think that they would have been happy about the relationship, a young man they already liked and knew well. Yeah, this is what's so weird. She's not intellectually disabled. He is still invested in her 20 years later, and the account sounds like a nice day spent together by 2 cogent and consenting adults who enjoy each other's company. Her family is infantilizing her and denying her romantic happiness. So bizarre, they blame someone else. I'm wondering if they also think that no one could actually love her due to her cerebral palsy. Thus, any intimacy would be just OP using her. Poor naive Mary, nobody could possibly want to be with her. She can't see that, which makes OP a predator. A combo of infantilization and ableism. I'm so glad that Mary knows how to ignore her family and live her life. I'm paralyzed from the waist down and physically deformed. Many people assumed that women could never find me attractive, but I got game and a cute smile. I get plenty of female attention. Your comment above is the nail meeting the hammer in perfect harmony. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna go not the asshole for this one, OP. I don't think you're particularly an asshole for the response that you gave him. I'm sure it felt good in the moment and he did deserve to hear some shit talking thrown back at him like that. But I don't think it really helps your case all that much, and it doesn't help Mary in the long run, because at the end of the day, you're not the one having to come home and deal with assholes like that, attacking you like Mary will have to deal with. I'm sure she wanted to keep this a secret still, just so that she didn't have to deal with her family being ableist dickhead towards her. But at the same time, it's a choice of, do we retaliate and tell them that their behavior is unacceptable and that they need to grow the hell up? Or do we just keep it secret and not have to deal with rocking the boat? Either way, John is a complete dickhead for infantilizing his sister like that, and I think he needs to just piss off, really. That's really as far as I can go with it, I guess. And now, onto the update. So after reading the comments, I am not the asshole for my relationship with Mary, but my response to John was unacceptable. That's fair. I've apologized to Mary and she's accepted my apology. That doesn't change the fact that I screwed up. For sharing intimate details without first asking Mary, I am the asshole, and I will never do that again. As for the fallout of my asshole moments, John sent another nasty message that got even more personal, including telling me some things about our past and my father that were very hurtful. Following the advice of the comments, I replied calmly and then blocked him. As I mentioned in my post, I will be seeing Mary again. I'm spending this spring/summer back home with my father. After his wife passed last year, he decided to wind down his business and sell our house. I will be going back there for about 3 months to help him with the business, fix a few things at the house, help him pack, and just hang out together. It's several decades of memories to be put away or donated, so we're taking our time. We'll barbecue and go to baseball games like we did when I was a kid. Mary and I are looking forward to seeing each other again this summer. Our weekend together was memorable, despite my latest stupidity. There is a fair chance that John will come and try to stir shit up, but I'm not stressing over it, because Mary means a lot to me. It'll be good to have 3 months to enjoy each other's company before I have to leave again, this time for good. I'm sure that Mary and I will stay in touch, and maybe even see each other again in the future. Thanks for the comments and messages. I read them all, and Mary did too. So that's the update. Cheers. In the comments, Giraffe says, "It's so common for people to think that any kind of impairment is an impairment to your ability to consent, to understand, to have sexual desires. Disabled people want sex, and have sex, and like sex. She is able to have a job, travel to other cities, work conferences, I'm assuming by the vendor's comments, and be truly independent, but clearly she can't be responsible for her own sex life. Anyone that wants to have sex with her must be a horrible abuser and pervert." Sarcasm. Yup, it's surprisingly common for people to see the disabled person lead almost a normal life, until it comes to sex. Then suddenly you are an asshole for sleeping with them. Like, if they don't have mental issues that make consent questionable, lead a normal life outside of the limitations, attend college and all that, many disabled people typically struggle in college sometimes, don't graduate, then what's the issue? Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!